and welcome to today's topic. I'm Mrs. Meggison and here is my special guest, Mrs. Haulter.
Morning.
And Mr. Jensen.
Morning all, hello, hello.
I hope you're all doing really well on this last week of our school year. Who thought it would have ended up like this? Before we get started on the questions, I want to give a recommendation if any of you want to watch something today. Before this show, I watched half of the Year 6 production and it is hilarious and excellent. I know the Year 6s and all the media team have worked really, really hard on it, so everyone should
Special
check
effects
that
look
out.
amazing.
Yeah, the special effects.
We're watching it
are
after break.
it's very, very good. Recommend it to everyone. So let's get on with today's show. Mr. Baker, what is our first question?
What type of climate do you like living in? The summer where you're too hot
Oh, it's
or
his
the winter
fault.
where you're too cold?
Oh, lovely question from the lovely Miss Bourne. Well, as if anyone's been tuning into the last few episodes, I think everyone will know where I stand on hot climate versus cold climate. I'm definitely a cold person. I'd always rather put more layers on than not be able to take them off. What
Is
do you
this
think,
to
Miss
live?
Orla?
Hot climate to live, hot cold climate to live, or just
Let's
to
say live, like your everyday life. As you two are, well, Australia is very hot. I don't know, what is New Zealand hot, or is it depending what part you're in?
From in New Zealand's hot. I like just both. I like it to be really hot, but then I like actually having a season as well. I know my mum lived in Queensland for a long time, and they never had seasons, and she really missed that because it's always warm.
Just
I
hot
went
all
for
year
holiday and it was 15 degrees. I was in shorts and a t-shirt, and they were in all their like winter woolies, and it's crazy. Yeah, I quite like. That's a hard one. I like both hot and cold.
What do you think, Mr. Jensen?
I'm leaning more towards the cold on this one, I agree. Coming from a very hot place, Queensland, where Mrs. Haulter was just saying, there is no seasons, it is just summer for 11 months of the year, and then we have not even a month, but yeah, there's maybe a month where you get to get your hoodie out. You might put some socks on under your flip-flops, maybe. Your winter flip-flops, yeah. No, I don't do that. It was never that cold. It was always hot. So I have enjoyed coming to the UK and experiencing this different climate. The seasons, all of them in one. I do appreciate winter the most, so it's my favourite. And when it snows, like occasionally, that's amazing to me. It's like, oh my gosh, seeing the snow falling. That's something I never experienced as a young person. So to see it, it's still a bit like childlike wonder. Wow. And also holidaying. I like to go to cold places. I think they're some of my favourite ones. Like I said, last week was Canada and Alaska, really cold and snowy. So those have been some of my favourite ones. So yeah, definitely the cold climate. I think these last few weeks have been nice though. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to when it gets a bit cooler and yeah, you can put, like you said, more layers on.
Yeah. Rather than being so hot you feel like you are melting into a puddle. And obviously we're in a country where you don't get air conditioning. Because like my family's from Texas, where it's like 40 degrees every day. But they all have everything's air conditioned. You know, the cars are air conditioned, the homes are air conditioned, the shops are air conditioned, and in fact the air conditioning is so cold that you want to wear a cardigan or a coat inside, and then you go outside and you feel like you are boiling, like literally boiling.
There's pluses and minuses for both, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So, Mr. Baker, what is your next question?
Hi Mrs. Meggison, what's your favourite way to die? Picnic in a park
restaurant
or
somewhere
dinner in a
else?
restaurant?
Dinner for two. An interesting question. Park, restaurant, or somewhere else? Miss Jensen, I know you go lots of exciting places with Mrs. Jensen.
Yes,
where would you go for a nice dinner?
Mrs. Jensen and I, we've over the last year or two, we've tried to do date night quite regularly, and we bought some cards that have lots of ideas about date night. So movies, going to restaurants, doing lots of different activities and things. But if I had to do a romantic date and organise it all by myself, I think I like dinner and a movie, or a show, maybe to the theatre to watch something. That's always my favourite combination. So food, yeah. Somewhere nice and fancy, I think. You can't just go to McDonald's for a romantic date. No. So, somewhere nice.
Manager for you.
Maybe Mrs. Jensen's favourite food. Yeah.
Cool.
So.
What do you think, Miss Haulter?
I like going to restaurants, but I quite like sort of going to kind of fun, busy restaurants. In fact, Mrs. Turner and I were just talking about this.
Oh.
Mr. Haulter and I went into London once, and we went to this amazing Mexican restaurant, and it was really loud and busy and fun, and I think that was one of the best meals that I've had with him. And we just got to chat and have a laugh.
Transported to Mexico.
Yeah, and we have children, so when they're not there, I love my children, but I think just going out with just the two of us, because we don't often do it, having no family here, we don't have anyone to look after our children, so it's only the kindness of friends.
Yeah.
We just had such a nice evening
Yeah.
at this Mexican restaurant, which wasn't particularly great, but it was just loud and fun and
Exciting.
a few giggles and
Well, even though I'm married, I don't think I've been on a date in quite a number of years.
Hint,
I
hint.
just quite like
Mr. Meggison, hint, hint.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm quite a homebody, and so is Mr. Meggison. We quite like maybe ordering something in, because I normally do all the cooking, and there is nothing so delicious as a meal you didn't cook yourself. So we quite like to order in and just spend like some time with each other, maybe watch a film.
During lockdown, a lot of the restaurants are doing takeaway now, so you can have amazing takeaway. We ordered from one of the restaurants, and it came, and it was delicious. And it was like a restaurant meal.
Yeah, but in the comfort of your own
But it was
home.
at home. It was lovely.
And then you can do it at your gym jams, which is always good. So, Mr. Baker, what is your next question?
Hi, Miss Meggison. Your topic for today is
food.
what is your favourite food? Thank you.
Following on from our last question, what is your favourite food? And that is a really difficult question. I love cooking and I definitely love eating. But I like such a range of food from different parts of the world, you know, and I think it's definitely one of my favourite things to do when I travel is to sample their local cuisine. What do you think, Mr. Jensen?
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing. Definitely when we're traveling, try the food of the area, maybe the recommended stuff. But I always find myself getting drawn to Asian food. Thai food is my
Yes.
favourite.
Just going to say.
Thai is really
And then
good.
because I do travel, I like to try the Thai food in different countries and see if it's
see
the
their
same or different.
interpretation.
And, they have their own spin on it. So it's definitely noodles and like stir fries and rice and those kind of things are my favourite.
And speaking of Asian food, I think the one food that I would definitely never say no to is sushi, which isn't everyone's taste because it is raw fish, but so delicious. The rice, like with spicy wasabi, love it. What do you think, Miss Haulter?
I was going to say Thai is one of my favourites, and I love cooking Thai food. But I've just gotten in the past sort of year or so cooking Middle Eastern food, so I really love that. And
I love a tagine.
yeah, well, there's some amazing sort of supermarkets around, and they will give you advice on what to put into it. But I have to always go back to Thai. The green papaya salad's my utter favourite. The spicier the better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's delicious. I must say I do make a mean green papaya salad. Tom Sum, I think.
Oh, you'll have to make it for me, Miss,
Yeah,
one day, Miss
utterly
Haulter.
delicious, yeah.
Love it. Mr. Baker, what is our next question?
Hi, Mrs. Meggison. My topic for you today is what's your favourite way to travel?
Well.
Favourite way to travel? I mean, I suppose we could interpret that question in different ways. We could think, what's our favourite way to travel, like on a day-to-day basis, or maybe to travel to another country? I don't know. What do you think, Miss Haulter?
I think I love travelling on trains. I'm not particularly a train enthusiast or anything, but we travelled through Italy a few years ago, all the way through Italy on trains. And it was a great way of seeing the countryside, places we wouldn't normally see, tiny little villages and things. Plus, you can relax. There's always someone to go and have something to eat. Yeah, it's a great way. And it's, in Europe, it's a really cheap way of travelling. Not so much here, but yeah, in Europe, it's a really cheap way of travelling.
What do you think, Miss Jensen?
Oh, transport. I was thinking, we were talking like horse and cart or something, maybe. A ye-old way of transport. My favourite, I think, is I've done 3 cruises, and I do like a cruise ship. Very,
Never been on a
very
cruise
good.
ship.
No, I've never
If
been.
you're someone who doesn't like a little boat because you get a bit seasick, cruise ships are a bit better. They're not wobbling as much, and kind of you drive, you cruise around on the ship and stop at different ports. You can get off, explore the area, get back on. You know, your bed's made. It's handy, but I think cruising around on a ship's a nice casual holiday. It's quite nice.
It's something that I've always wanted to do. I really want to go to like Norway and go around the fjords and things, see all like beautiful mountains from the casualness of a boat.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the industry bounces back from the current pandemic and they will be available again soon.
We never know. Mr. Baker, what is our next question?
If you could live anywhere, where would you live? Like maybe a cabin in the woods or on the beach or in a city?
Cabin city penthouse.
The best place to live. Log cabin, city, penthouse. Well, I mean, some really challenging questions from the grown-ups today. I don't know. I suppose it depends where you're living and what's the most convenient to you. But I suppose if we're thinking about the dream, like our dream houses, I think maybe something rural would be nice, something with a really lovely view.
For me, log cabin in Alaska, no one around.
In Alaska?
Yep.
So really, really pushing the isolation.
Absolutely pushing the isolation. The Hautlers have often talked about just getting away, going off-grid, living in Alaska.
I've talked about going off-grid as well.
Yeah, just
with my
living
husband.
in a log cabin. That would be ultimate. I would love it.
Or some of my friends have always said like we should like buy an island somewhere. You know, those like really super cheap islands you can get that are like in the middle of nowhere, like off the coast of Scotland.
Yeah.
Establish a commune.
Build your own government.
And just. But obviously we'd have to have broadband because I'd die. Yeah, that's the thing. I would like to live somewhere isolated, but not
Still
if it
connected,
didn't have a really solid internet connection. I don't think I would be able to handle it if it didn't. What do you think, Mr. Jensen?
Oh, it's another tricky question. These questions get harder every week. These topics. I think I like the idea of living somewhere rural and remote and in the country or the forest or something. But I've also enjoyed living near the sea and that sea view and the water. Something relaxing about it. Fresh air. Yeah, being close to the ocean, I guess. Because back home, somewhere where I lived was close, and when I first moved here, Mrs. Jensen and I, we had somewhere near the sea where we could look out and see the water. So yeah, I think if I was going to pick somewhere, like you said, dream house situation, somewhere overlooking some water somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Or maybe like a nice lake with
Alaska.
Alaska.
Or Canada. Meggison has been solidly campaigning for Canada for like the last 4 years.
Yes.
Since the Brexit vote.
Well, completely agree with that. I would live there in a heartbeat.
Or maybe we can lift Milton Hall up and we can all just transfer over there. It's like new backup plan, Ms. Hauler. Mr. Baker, what's our next question?
Hi guys, today's topic of question is cats or dogs? Which make the better pets? Let me know what you think.
Well, anyone who knows me will already know this answer. So I'm going to ask Mr. Jensen first. What do you think, cats or dogs?
I think I have a bit of an allergy to cats. So they're not my favourite. Unfortunately, I have to say I'm more of a dog person if I had to choose a pet. But I've only ever had a dog when I was younger. So Mrs. Jensen, I would love to get one. But being in a flat's a bit tricky.
Yeah, you have to think about what's best for the animal as well as what you want.
But if I had to choose one, I would say maybe like a bulldog, an English bulldog or something. They're cute. Yeah.
With their wrinkles. What do you think, Miss Hauler?
I think for ease of pet care, cats definitely. They're quite self-sufficient, aren't they?
I once heard someone say that having a dog is like having a child and having a cat is like having a roommate.
Yeah. Which a really surly roommate as well, who doesn't do the dishes. We had a lovely cat called Marvin, and we absolutely loved him. We haven't replaced him. Unfortunately, he died. But yeah, I think for ease, cats. For just having fun, dogs.
Yeah, maybe they're less fun. I mean, I obviously love a cat. Stan cats so hard. I mean, our cat was in fact a stray cat from London who barged his way into our house one Christmassy evening and refused to leave. And he was really thin and he's got like these funny little stick out front legs and he kind of like waddles along. But like I just love his little pointy ears and his little cat face. And I love that I don't have to interact with him all of the time.
Yeah, dogs are a bit needy, aren't they?
And because cats are more standoffish, if they choose to stay with you, especially if they're an outdoor cat, it means they really love you. Yeah. They are showing their love and affection because they're choosing to be with you rather than...
Maybe we could ask the people at home, cats or dogs? Maybe a thumbs up
Show thumbs up for cats at home. Who is a cat person?
We've got one in the corner. Is that
I can see some in the key worker group. Is that Lexi in the middle? I can't tell. Is it Lexi?
Oh, yeah, someone's got a penguin for a pet.
Oh, yeah, it's Lexi. Give her away.
What about dogs,
and Oscar's giving away for cats too. Hey, Oscar. What about dogs? Hands up for dogs. What are you thinking?
Ooh.
Oh, no, I'm outvoted. Isabel and Isaiah, how could you?
The penguins.
Cats for me.
The penguin's voting dogs as well.
And the penguin at home is voting for dogs. Well, I am outvoted. I feel so sad. Me and my cat friends will just we'll just go and hang out by the bins.
Crazy cat
Crazy
people.
cat lady.
Oh,
totally. No. Okay, Mr. Baker, what is our next question?
Are we on the last one?
I think it's the last one. Oh, it's hobbies.
Hi, Mrs. Meggison. Today the topic is pastime, so we would like to know what's your favourite hobby?
Oh, Mrs. Bonham, I know why you were smiling at me in the corridor now. Okay, I'm going to go last. Miss Haulter, what are your favourite hobbies?
That's a difficult one. I haven't thought about that. I really like gardening.
I love gardening. I've been super into gardening.
Yeah. I'm not particularly amazing at it. Like, I don't have a huge skill at it, but everything seems to grow, and if it doesn't, then I don't plant it again the next year.
Yeah.
And I've always got lots of things in my garden. I quite like drawing and things like that.
Yeah, very arty.
Yeah, just doing creative things. And photography, I guess, although I haven't picked up my camera for far too long.
Maybe that's something to do over the summer holidays.
It's got to the point now where I think my camera and I are not speaking to each other because it's been so long that I've just...
Feels abandoned.
It does feel a bit, and I feel like I've abandoned it, but maybe when we go on holiday I'll dig it out.
What do you think, Mr. Jensen?
Well, I was going to say the same thing. I'm quite a bit of a photography enthusiast myself, with all the travelling, taking lots of photos. And I was so looking forward to those Easter holidays. I was planning a trip to Iceland. I bought a new lens. I was getting ready, and then the lockdown happened, and I was so sad. I was looking forward to taking some photos. And
that poor lens is stuck at home.
And now it's just gathering dust in the bag. So I'm going to dust it off.
The neglect of photography equipment that we're finding out this morning.
I'm going to dust it all off, and then come these holidays, Mrs. Jensen and myself are going to hopefully travel, maybe somewhere in England, or maybe to Wales, Scotland, somewhere we can drive to. I'll take some photos. So that's one of my favourite hobbies to do. And then I've also got volleyball, which is a sport that I'm quite enthusiastic about. I'm the head coach at the local club in Southend. So yeah, I'm often trying to recruit really tall people. Mr. Mills, if you can hear me. Anyone else?
Oh, Miss Bourne's pretty tall.
Miss Bourne?
And she's
I tried Miss Bourne, she turned me down.
Oh.
She said she was going to come, actually. I think we need to chase her off about that.
I used to watch a lot of beach volleyball. We used to have in my hometown the world champion beach volleyball.
Wow.
Not many places you can go out in South End without getting rocks in your feet.
Yeah. But they used to have the championships there. And it was quite interesting to watch.
I mean, I always think it's really important to have like hobbies and creative pursuits. I love making costumes, as some of you have seen on like World Book Day and things, and I love like making my own clothes. I've started to get more into making things that I can wear like in normal life, rather than just like as a crazy costume, which is very very situational. And
is this something homemade today?
No, this one isn't. I was going to wear the dress that I just made, but it was freezing and it started to rain and I haven't got a cardigan that matches it. But watch this space next year.
Here comes the cardigan.
You will.
I haven't done sewing for a long time, actually.
As soon as I find like an appropriate cardigan.
I used to sew all my clothes and my children's clothes. But I find it more difficult here to get fabric and stuff like that, so it's not quite the same as when I was doing it at home. But I loved it when I was at university.
Yeah.
Poor student.
Yeah, definitely.
Make your own clothes.
Yeah. And And I like, yeah, as we said in one of the previous weeks, I'm really into history, and I like to do a little bit of historical reenactment. I have been known to be a Viking at the weekend, which is one of the things I'm stoked about next year in year 3. Get to have a dress-up day. Cool. Exciting. I think that was our last question.
Oh no.
And it is the end of today's topic because this is the last week. So thank you to everyone for tuning in, and big shout out to my class who might be watching at home, and to the Year 2 Key Worker group. Miss you guys. Big waves. Yeah. And I will see you in September. Actually, Key Worker Group, I'm probably going to say hello in a minute. I'll just pop in and say. So it's goodbye for me, goodbye from Mrs. Haulter.
Goodbye.
Bye,
and
everyone.
goodbye, Mr. Jensen.
Have a lovely summer.
Have a super summer. Bye.